broadcasting, that's fine. Just whatever. So yeah, as the title states, first time trying. I did originally buy it for BP, and you know, it's watching somebody play and watching and doing it yourself are two different things. I learnt a lot from watching BP's videos, and BP's perhaps the same, if not more, simulated focus, so therefore, you know, what he considers the game to be is practically what I'm going to look at the game. If he thinks that the game isn't a full-on sim, then obviously that's how I will feel. I obviously prefer simulation over arcade, and although I don't consider Project Cars 1 as a simulator, I've had a lot of fun racing around with the rest of the monkey show. And I'm hoping that Project Cars 2 will give us the same feeling, but there's a few things that I need to know myself, and BP has brought up how, you know, it's easy to lock the brakes. You have to be so gingerly on them, and I'm not on mute, am I? No. That's good. And it's either the car turns well or it spins, one or the other. And listening and watching and actually doing are two completely different things, and for me to understand how these cars are really handling, I have to buy the game myself. Unfortunately, the developers decided their demo wasn't an important thing to have, which is more for their loss, because I think with a demo they might have had more sales, unless the modelling, the handling models are that bad. We will find out. But some cars seem to be really bad, some are okay, and then you get those that BP has stated are really good and handle as expected. So maybe the developers are going to work on each model. I doubt it, but maybe they will work on the handling for each model, or maybe they've made it that those models you have, or the game in general, you have to focus on car setups, which would be a nightmare because there's a lot of people who don't know about car setups, and it's easy to completely destroy your car by messing with things that you don't understand, and I know that from experience. I've been there, not in Project Cars, but in F1 when I first started, because Codemasters never did their setups as you would expect. It was always backwards. You know, on say Monaco, you'd want full wings or high wings for extra downforce, because it's all about acceleration. Deceleration isn't a big deal, and low speeds, whereas the car setup was actually low wings and good acceleration. Kind of defeated the objective of, in fact, all of the tracks was practically low wings. They seem to be getting away from that, but still people are finding that one setup can actually do every race, every track, with a few modifications to other things here and there, but the wings are basically one or two clicks higher between the track types, which completely is unrealistic. But it is what it is, and unfortunately they're able to get away with it because they're focusing on the arcade console-y kind of genre gamers, and the true simulation fans lose out because of that. But if they gain their sales in there, they won't change something that is working for them clearly, and that's what we're going to find out with this game. Is it focused towards the console players, or have they put equal workload into giving us a more polished version of the Project Cars 1, which is what everybody wanted. Obviously they've done some work with the AI, but the AI are still terrible. And hopefully more patches will come. Hopefully they don't just stop like they did with Project Cars 1 after the, you know, and immediately go start crowdfunding for Project Cars 3 as they did with Project Cars 1 after its release. So I guess we will find out. And obviously I am smoking, why not? I'm going to spin a few times, and that is louder than I expected. And options, I turned all of this down and it's still too loud. Typical Project Cars. I've noticed there's a lot more sound options. Player engine, as you can see, super low but still super loud. And let's see how that sounds. Still loud, but we'll just deal with it. Oh, of course I've got to work my wheel config because it doesn't handle how I like it. And I've got to turn that turn indication off. Because that will just distract me. In fact, we'll do that now and we can adjust the volume once again. Yes. Wheel calibration. But I don't, you see, that's kind of how I like it. Steering lock. I don't like a lot of steering. So it, what the hell? You ain't giving me full steering lock? Yeah, the steering lock that I wanted. In fact, why is my wheel? Turning slightly to one side. It's the fuck. whatever. I don't care about that. It's calibrating my wheel as... Yeah, I did that. And as soon as I hit save, you're turning my wheel a few degrees to the left. Reset. Is that reset all? Any changes? Okay, fair enough. I don't care about any of that. Not bothered by that. What I am bothered by is the fact that see, that does bother me because I don't like full wheel rotation. I need it to be how I like it. Otherwise, we will try it, but I doubt it. And audio again. Might have to do this outside of... Can I minimize volume mixer? Turn this down somewhat. Apparently I've got a comb. Might be a bit more sensitive than what I would have wanted. But, oh, I forgot to turn that off. The AI are on defaults, which was 60 I think, but I heard the brakes lock up then.
Awesome in the first sector, that's your best split so far.
Thank you, but So the AI have got good acceleration out of the
Okay, mate,
corners.
be patient now. You will force an error, so let's just wait for him to make a mistake.
Forget that. He ain't gonna make a mistake. How slow do you want to go there? As soon as I'm right behind you, you like take your time through the corner. But so much. See what I mean? What the fuck? I can see what BP is on about. You don't have any feel that the car's going to slide until it's too late. So a lot of my correctional steering
That's your fastest lap in the race so far.
is actually, I'm doing that just in case.
That's P6. Good job. Keep pushing.
Are you going to take
That's your
your...
best first sector so far. Nice one.
Of course you're going to take your time through here. Amazingly, the AI didn't decide, because I put myself in a position where it was either let me through or have an accident, which why did I change down? Which on Project Cars 1 the AI would have definitely took me
That's your
out.
fastest lap so far today. Great stuff. You've just posted the fastest first sector time. You're up to 4th place. Keep pushing. You'll catch the leaders. They're not far away.
It is too loud for my liking. He's already annoying as it is. Don't need him to be loud at the same time. In Project Cars 1 I definitely had more information as to how the car felt when cornering, or at any point I could feel the car when it was going to go away from me. I knew. In this I don't have that same feeling until I physically see or visually see that the car's sliding. I don't know what's happening. I've kind of got used to this steering, which is a lot more aggressive than what I'm used to on sensitivity. But I like a sensitive wheel.
That's the fastest lap of the race. Good job.
Now, is it the fastest lap of the race, or are you just saying that? I have got all traction control and...
Nice one. That's the fastest first sector.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Traction control and ABS and all that are turned off. It's not an authentic like it is by default. Don't like racing with any driver assists on. Takes away from the fun. I think I set this to 30 laps as well. Because I was expecting that I'd be getting lapped.
That's a new fastest lap of the race. Brilliant.
I was expecting that to happen at some point. Okay. That's the first spin of the day. So the wheel config I've got is almost what I have on Project Cars 1, just a bit more sensitive. Not a great deal more sensitive though. Well, now I think about it, it just feels more sensitive because the car's a lot more tail friendly. Of course, you
Great stuff. Best first sector time so far.
On this track you're not
Leader P2, 1 second behind the leader. Keep the pressure on him.
you're not going to feel the difference in brakes, because it's such short distances between any corners, and there's no real high speed late hard braking zones, so I have had the brakes lock up.
You're currently setting the fastest lap of the race. Keep it up. You're in a good spot for taking him. Don't take too much risk. Try and squeeze past when you can.
But before we go anywhere, we're going to turn that Jeff down, because boy is he loud. Yeah, well, he would be as 100%, I guess. Let's turn you down to there and hope that you're not loud. Amazingly, I'm not smoking my cigarette like I would be on Project Cars 1. So the game definitely makes me keep both hands on the wheel. Still not getting what these lines are indicating for the blue. And brake through there. In Project Cars 1 you don't even brake though. And in all fairness, all I'm doing is just laying off the accelerator, and which is what I would do in Project Cars 1 as well. Track feels... They say that that the track is now a living thing. I guess we'll see. We're early into the race still, so but behind other cars, the car does seem to get very, very unstable. Like aerodynamics are playing a part. The turbulent air off the car ahead is affecting your car. I'm braking for corners where I don't normally brake in project cars, when I just downshift and blend out of the throttle. Use engine braking as opposed to physical braking. I would say that the
Fastest lap of the race. Good job.
this maybe it does suit a more aggressive, twitchy steering wheel as opposed to a wheel that's set up more for sim racing. After all, I still think it's arcadey. It's sim-esque in terms of how the cars are behaving. Them trying to make the cars behave simulation style, but with an arcade feel to them, so that it's friendly for both kind of players. And these cars obviously are going to be very slidey and in real life very unstable on the rears, perhaps. Hearing the wheels lock up and squeal, you hear that from a lot of the smaller formulas. That's how they tend to like to be raced. But again, doing counter steering just in case the car wants to go away, because no information until I hear the noise that the car is sliding, which is frustrating really, that you're listening to the sounds as opposed to feeling the effects. I probably won't do all 30 laps. I just put it on that so I didn't have to keep restarting the race when I was close to being done. I just wanted to jump in here and do one quick race, and because I was going to do it last night, but unfortunately I fell asleep, and while it was downloading, and and then decided I'd jump on Civilization 5 with Moondog, which, for anyone interested in that, in the next soon I'll be
That's the best second one time of anyone so far. Great job. Keep it up.
putting a video out for episode 1 of our multiplayer. So he did let me through. That's interesting. wasn't giving me all the space in the world, which is good, because they shouldn't be leaping out of my way to let me through. At the end of the day, they're still racing.
Got some back markers. Watch out for the twitchy ones. Keep it clean and slide past.
Watch out for the twitchy ones. I'm twitchy. Haven't you noticed? I think they should watch out for me. I don't think I'm braking as late as I brake in Project Cars 1. Some of the corners I am though. But like I said, this is all about, you know, acceleration over braking, so it's not easy to compare Project Cars 1 and 2 to each other when you're not braking from high speed. But we're on lap 20. We've had one spin already.
Okay, let's take this back marker. Nice and clean now, no risk.
I have configured the wheel, so I don't know what buttons are for the hood, if there are any. But as soon as I'm behind another car, it seems like I lose grip immediately. It's which is to be expected, but even at such low speeds I shouldn't be literally losing every ounce of grip that I've got. Like under acceleration the car feels extremely light, so getting past
Traffic ahead. You can start expecting back markers.
you don't say. Jeff with his wisdom as always clearly doesn't pay attention to the fact that we've already been lapping some of these guys for the last few laps, and decides now to say that there's back markers ahead. And a few few moments ago, the beginning of this lap, at the previous lap. That was meant to be my look behind button, and clearly it's not. Okay. Blend out of the throttle, off the throttle. Hard braking and hope that the car sticks. Let's
Job. That's the fastest first sector.
see if we can put a faster lap in, now that we've got a clear track. Definitely lost time in a few of those corners, but No, because I'm done. So that was that. Let's exit to the. Hang on, does it say what the laps are? So I've done a 156.5. The AI are, well, I'll show you, but they're on their default settings. I haven't modified them in any way. I just basically changed the audio because that was super loud, as you saw, and so if we go into options, gameplay, driver assist switched off, and I'd have to have gone into, what is it, quick play, isn't it, custom race, and is it under race? No, that one, no, where is it, rules and regulations, oh, opponent settings. So I hadn't adjusted this. The only thing I came in here for was to try and see if I could increase the amount that there was in, but I couldn't, but I left it at that and just went straight away. But that's been my take on Project Cars in that car, on that track that I do like. Had some good fights on there and hope to have many more. Do I prefer it over Project Cars 2, over Project Cars 1 rather, this car, that track, between the two games? I don't see, graphically obviously it's different, but I don't see that much of a difference anywhere else apart from the cars are more slidey going into them corners, meaning I can't smoke my cigarette, which I'm thoroughly used to on Project Cars 1. So doesn't affect me. It means I'll smoke less, in fact, which is always a good thing because I smoke really heavily. The cars feel the same in some ways, but they feel different. They feel different because there's no feedback. I'm not getting any feedback whatsoever. As soon as the car starts sliding, I'm relying on visual references that the car's not is losing traction, as opposed to the input from the wheel. Okay, I have turned force feedback down, but that's how I like to race. And in Project Cars 1, I have it lower than that, and I get feedback. In fact, I get too much feedback, and I'm a person that races without feedback normally, so any feedback I will immediately feel, because I'm not used to racing with it. Theoretically, all through the league racing in F1, I never used force feedback, period. It was only when I came to Project Cars 1 with the Monkey Show, and it's been a recent thing that I've started using. When I first put it on, I went with the default settings and the car was driving itself around the track, and I basically turned feedback off, and because I was told that that's what was causing it, and I turned it off, turned it right down. I think I had it like 15, force feedback of 15, and I was getting feedback then. I've upped it since then, and I get a lot of feedback, but I was getting more feedback with the settings at 15 on Project Cars 1 than I'm getting on this with it set at 50. And on Project Cars 1, force feedback set at 50, I don't like it. On this, I don't even feel it. There's nothing there. So but that's been Project Cars 2. No reviewer by any means. That was literally my first race, first jump in. Haven't done any testing whatsoever. Just came straight in, and just went with it. In fact, I'm not sure if it will show, but 53 minutes. So anyway, thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy. You know, I will do a few more videos, and maybe BP and I will do a multiplayer race someday, and we'll spin a lot, crash a lot, laugh, cry, swear, the usual stuff, a lot. But until then, have fun. See ya.